Hey people, what's going on? It is the day before the guy gets into office here in America. I got the radio on listening to NPR. It's part of my morning habit, even though the show often really makes me angry. Trump. Politics, shoved down our throat. And the other part of it that is worthless is so much of what the media does is speculate. Well, what do you think will happen? What do the polls say? Well, what do you think he's going to do? What do you think this? Worthless waste of time because I have this addiction to the radio. I turn it on. It just makes me angry. Daily, I hear how the news and media is owned and manipulated. Every day there's an opportunity for this technology to be used to help to heal the world, and it never happens. Never happens. Okay. I was listening to music. I read your comments. I'm glad that this is fun to share. So let me just show you what I was playing since I talked to you. Also getting ready for my Roots of Electric Jazz show today. If this happens to get online before 2 o'clock Central Standard Time today and you see this, listen to my show on Mind and Soul 101.3 FM via TuneIn on the internet. If you're in Omaha, listen on the air. That comes up because I was listening to some jazz and some fusion. I'm playing a lot of fusion on the show because fusion is old and yet it just is still very vital. And there's just a lot of music that never got played on the radio around here, so I'm doing it. Speaking of, here's Lenny White, the drummer who was with Return to Forever. I first heard of him because he played on Bitches Brew with Miles Davis. But after he left Chick Corea's band, he started his own thing. Streamline is one of those albums where he's doing a more commercial version of fusion mixed with R&B. He does a funky version of Lady Madonna on here. I wonder if it ever got any airplay. That track to me is awful. It's the other tracks where he is being more true to his background, which is jazz and adventurous music. This album is really good, really good. Here's one I listened to last night, and as I got to the end of side 2, it dawned on me, I've had this album for years and I have never played it all the way through. Last night I heard this album all the way through for the first time, and I've had it. This came out in 1979. I know I didn't buy it that year, but I've had it almost that long. Tony Williams, The Joy of Flying. Tony Williams, the drummer who started as a teenager with Miles Davis because of his amazing, powerful style. Tony pummeled the drums. He was a very powerful and precise drummer. He played with a lot of power. You hear it when you hear him. If you ever watch any videos of him playing, I encourage it. Just look at how he attacks the drums and how much power. This is a good album. He plays several tracks with Jan Hammer from the Czech Republic, one with Herbie, and then he ends the album with a duet with, of all people, Cecil Taylor. And it works. Okay. On a whole nother trip, I was playing some old 80s, 70s and 80s music. I just grabbed something that said, I haven't listened to this in a while. The Wolfgang Press, the legendary Wolfgang Press and other tall stories. This is a compilation of tracks of theirs. They never really had any hits, but 4AD label. This is a good selection of their music to get familiar with. Kind of an angular, dry, very not funky, post-punk. I say that it's so much time has passed that word doesn't mean anything unless you were around at the time. Post-punk means that Joy Division really changed the landscape in a lot of ways, is what I mean. So there's that influence of this. This was a good listen. 12-inch single by Richard H. Kirk, who was in the band Cabaret Voltaire, Hypnotic. I for one, still like 12-inch singles. They're pretty worthless on the market as far as resale. whenever I go to do trading, I've discovered that a lot of my 12-inch singles I can't trade. They're considered worthless, but I still like them because of the wide groove, and depending on how the record is cut, they really sound better. But anyway, Cabaret Voltaire, early purveyors of electronics in DIY music. Good stuff. I mean, it sounds dated, but at the same time, it's really vital. You could hear where these guys were doing something that was opening the way for everybody else. Listen to the Sid Arthur again last night, Apricity. Thanks again, Trish. This is a really good band and a really good album. Real good. I hear from liner notes that you got your copy of Flyover, and I've actually played this a couple times last night. I'll tell you why, okay? I have been kind of sitting on some news because I've been hoping for something to change, but recently I had to leave the band Chemicals. You heard me talking about the band Chemicals, and you folks that follow me know how excited I have been about that band, and how the fact that within the first year of our existence we got nominated for Band Best New Artist of the Year. We might still win. The ceremony is next month, but I've quit already due to some really fractious emotional stuff that came up, that I want to play music with people I like and get along with, and without denigrating anyone, let me just say that some things went down where it became obvious that, I'm the old man, I'm working with some young people, and some of these young people do not know themselves well, and I was disrespected, and for something that I did on behalf of the band. So I'm out. I'm starting a new project with some of the members of Chemicals called the Dereck Higgins Experience. I'm just going ahead and go for it. We're rehearsing tonight, and we're working up some material off of Flyover, as well as Murphy, and all this new stuff I've been writing. Sorry that Chemicals is over already. I've been hoping that maybe there'd be a way that we could salvage it. If the band can be salvaged, it's not me that has to change. Happy to say that. I've been around the block. I've been in a lot of bands. I know how to be in a band. Some young people still don't. The Young God. This is another 12-inch single, Did You Miss Me? Swiss band. The singer has quite the voice. Sounds like gravel. Very powerful, but very compelling. Man, Young Gods. Killer. This is considered a classic by many people. This Mortal Coil. Ivo Watts Russell, who started the label 4AD. I think he started a project or something happened, and the next thing you know, he had this project where he had different musicians participating in putting together these tracks. Elizabeth Fraser of Cocteau Twins very noticeably does Kim Buckley's song on here, Song to the Siren, but there's lots of other really good stuff on here. The cover image is perfect for the music. It sounds like that image sounds like the music. It's perfect. This Mortal Coil, really, really, really good. Another classic album, Van der Graaf Generator. The least we can do is wave to each other. Whatever would Robert have said? Progressive rock, or just English rock of the finest. Just the finest. To me, this music gets better with time. That's why I use the word classic, because the more I go back to it, the better it sounds. And look at that cover, too. Great cover. German, not krautrock, cosmic music, jazz rock, Agitation Free, their second album. This is a reissue. Their original copies of this are collectible on the Vertigo label. If you don't have this is definitely worth finding out about. Jazzy, and psychedelic. Really good, really good. Mainly instrumental. Love it, love it. One more. Have I shown everything? Well, here's one I hadn't shown that was sitting down. I had forgotten about this album. An Italian band called Surprise, Inmovimento. Came out in the 80s or the end of the 70s. This is old. But this was an Italian band attempting to incorporate Afrobeat, African rhythms into the music, but Afrobeat was a style that tried to catch on for a while. And this doesn't quite get the groove, but because they're trying and their approach is not purely African, what they come up with is a hybrid that's interesting. This is a little stiff, but sonically interesting. Surprise in Movimento. Okay, so I'll try to remember to leave links to my radio show. Tomorrow, Friday, I'll be on Adult Swim's show, Stupid Morning Bullshit, with a 1-minute segment. That's on tomorrow. I still have copies of Flyover for sale. Every now and then I get people asking in the comments, is it still for sale? And I'll say yes, but then there's no order comes in. So order this album. I won't have it forever. And it's damn good. It is. Really looking forward to playing this music with a band. Okay, I'm going to stop here. The shorter it is, the quicker it uploads, and maybe it'll be online before 1 or 2 o'clock so you can be prompted to check out my radio show. Be well, everyone. I do want to say that I don't think I've ever watched the inauguration of a president because, like I said about Martin Luther King, I learned early on that politics is thoroughly corrupt, and almost everything that they present to us, the public, is a lie. So why watch? I'm going to get the fallout from this bullshit no matter what. I have no confidence in this guy that's getting elected. Bush Jr. was a complete joke. We survived that. Anyway, the power of art and music is what saves my soul.